TaxCalc 19 using scenarios. To this point, we have gone through and entered dependent information. We've entered income, we've calculated child support, we've calculated our filing options, and the last lesson was number 5 of entering in maintenance. We're at a point now where you're able to use the basic functions of the program, and I'm going to teach you now how to create and identify different scenarios and really use this scenarios feature, which I find to be very helpful in my cases. So to this point, we've been working really on scenario number 1. We're at a point where I just entered in maintenance that got us to a 50-50 division, and that is simply what I'm going to name this scenario as. So you can go up here into this scenario cell. I'm going to put in 50-50 division and just make a little bit of a entry to say this is 50-50 with the bonus. And just to show you how to build different scenarios, we're going to identify this as a 50-50 division with the bonus and start to build different options around this. So what I'm going to do is also a 55-45 with the bonus, and then I'm going to build 2 more with a 50-50 and a 55-45 without the bonus. And I'm going to show you again kind of how to do that. So we've identified here this is 50-50 with bonus. When we make this edit, you'll see it automatically changes the text here under the scenarios box. And you'll see this is highlighted. This is scenario 1 that we're looking at right now. So to go to a new scenario, all you simply have to do is click on the box that says scenario 2. You'll see it's blank. So all of these are blank to start out with. I obviously wouldn't want you to have to go through and re-enter everything we've done, steps 1 through 5. So there is the ability to go here to the bottom right and import the information from another scenario. So you can hit this import scenario. You can hit it at any time and on any screen on any scenario, and it's going to ask you the same 2 questions. It's going to ask you which scenario would you like to copy. So because we only have information in scenario 1, I'm going to hit number 1. I'm going to copy the information on scenario 1, hit OK, and it's going to ask you where do you want me to copy that information to. So right now I'm going to build scenario number 2, so I'm taking that information. I'm going to hit number 2 is where I want it to go. Hit OK. It's going to ask you real quick, are you sure you want to overwrite everything that's in scenario 2? Because it's blank, I know that. Yes, I do want to overwrite it. So ultimately, everything that's in scenario 1 is now going to be copied and put into scenario 2. And you'll see that now here. So this indicates here you're on scenario 2. If you scroll down, it's going to indicate here you're on scenario 2. But what this is a carbon copy of what was in scenario 1. So what I like to do right away is go right back to the scenarios tab and say what is my new scenario that I'm going to create, and this would be, let's say, a 55-45 with bonus. So I make that edit there, and then I need to go back and edit my information to get to that description, right? So if all I really wanted to change was the split of the division of income, I really need to just change the maintenance. So I'm going to go back, I'm going to hit enter maintenance target, and I want Henry to have 55% in this case. I can plug that in, and now I have a 55-45, and I have it labeled as a 55-45. So this would be my scenario 2. Just to give you some ideas, the other 2 ideas that I'm going to show you is let's do a 50-50 and a 55-45 without the bonus income in there. So we might be able to go and say, all right, scenario number 3, I want scenario 3 to be a 50-50 without the bonus. So to get that information, let's import scenario 1 and plop it into scenario 3. Yes, I want to overwrite it. So again, it's going to take my information from scenario 1. It's going to put it into scenario 3. I'm going to put this as 50-50, no bonus. And again, after I type that in, then I go through and I actually get that result. So I'm going to go to the bonus. I'm going to zero out that bonus. I'm not going to change child support because I want it to be based on all of the income, but I am going to go back and then enter the maintenance to get to a 50-50 division now that he no longer has a bonus. So you can see now this is a 50-50 division. I didn't change child support, and I've labeled it as 50-50 no bonus. If you look down to the lower right, we are now building these different scenarios with different descriptions. So again, let's import this one. Let's import number 3 into number 4. And really on this one, I'm going to look at trying to get to a 55-45 without the bonus. If my numbers are right, I think I'm already there just by removing the maintenance. Yeah, see, so she would actually, in this case, Julie would have to pay Henry to get to a 55-45, so that's not necessarily what I want to create. So this one might be just my no maintenance option. So I might just label it as no maintenance, so you can see that it's a 53-46. We don't quite get to 55-45, but let's call it no maintenance, no bonus. So again, now we have 4 different scenarios built, and one of the nice things that I've built in here, which I use quite a bit, is this summary. Once you have the scenarios you want, you can click on this scenario summary, and what you'll see is, and this prints on like a landscape, one-page landscape, but you'll see all of these kind of side by side, which again I think is very helpful to most people when you're doing different calculations, and they can see, okay, here's a 50-50, here's a 55-45 with and without the bonus. And they can see the monthly numbers and how they change. They can see their incomes and how their incomes change in the different scenarios. Obviously, then you can also analyze how the tax changes in these different scenarios. So again, all of this is a way to kind of explain things better to your clients, have a nice printable page where you can have 5 different scenarios on one page to analyze those different scenarios. And if you wanted to make a change, let's say I made a mistake or I want to do something different, I can click directly to scenario 3 and go right there, make my edit, change the description, and then go back and print a new summary or something like that. I like to use this text bar at the top just to describe the scenario summary that I have. So I might call it set number 1, support options or something like that. And I think, you know, in some cases I've had, you know, maybe Julie is thinking about another job. Maybe this is an imputed number and we want to do another set just like this using 50 grand as her income or 30 grand as her income. So there are some times where I'll make, you know, multiple sets using a different, you know, baseline figure or baseline number so that they can see obviously how things change from scenario to scenario. So these scenarios piece I think is a very helpful piece in explaining things and printing different options, obviously saving your own different variations of support calculations using the scenario features here in the lower right.